If you want to get a better score in the CrossFit Open, you need to know some of these hacks. It's so frustrating when you see somebody doing something that helps them get a better score and you're like, I wish I knew that when I was doing my attempt. I've been doing CrossFit for over 5 years. I started off as a beginner. I'm now more of an RX athlete, but I'm a regular person with a normal job, and I've used these little tips over the years to get higher scores than I would have done if I didn't know them. A couple of places can make a huge difference in the Open, and if you're trying to play that game of getting the highest score you possibly can this year, I'm going to help you out. First, I'm going to meet you in the gym so I can show you some of the practical ones. So people really underestimate this first tip. This little hack will make a huge difference to your score, and it's the spacing between all of the kit that you're using. Whether you're a beginner or an intermediate, this makes a huge difference because the amount of time it takes to walk between the equipment has an impact on your score. Every second counts in the Open because you're going up against hundreds of thousands of people, and even against the other people in your gym, the time it takes to walk, say from the bar to the barbell, another athlete could get in another couple of reps. Put all of your equipment as close together as you can possibly stand it. Even if you're at a level where your fitness isn't high enough that you can just go from one movement into another movement, it means that you don't have to walk that far, so you're less likely to rest too much, because if your equipment is really far apart, then you're going to rest more in between the movements. You're going to take that walk a lot slower. Have them closer together to stop you from using that as an excuse to slow down. If you want to rest for longer, you can stand there and rest. That's totally okay. But if you want to increase your score, shrinking that transition window is gonna help you. So this little hack is something that not everybody knows, and my first Open, I didn't realize this. So you're doing a workout and there's toes bar in it, and you can't do toes bar yet, but you might, if you tried, you might get your first one, or it could be chest to bar, or it could be muscle ups. So you're in two minds whether you should RX or scale it. If you're going for the best score possible, even if you can only do the first half of the workout and then you're literally attempting toes to bar for the rest of the time, if you go RX, you will get a higher score than anybody doing scaled. I know a lot of people have opinions about that and whether it should be like that or not. Say the first part of the workout is like 1 year, it was 21 deadlifts at a weight that I could do, and after that it was handstand push-ups, which I couldn't do. I just did 21 deadlifts in that workout, and then for the rest of the time I attempted handstand push-ups, and that year I got my first 3 handstand push-ups in a workout, and I was so chuffed. The Open has always been about pushing yourself, and I think that rule is in place to make us push ourselves, to make us see if we can RX a movement that we have been scaling because we've been doubting ourselves. Obviously, if you want to scale because you feel more comfortable scaling, that is totally fine. You can do whatever you want to do. Next, you need to plan out the rep scheme to something that you can handle. So if there's 20 toes to bar and you can't do 20 toes to bar, don't aim to do a massive set straight out of the gate. Even if you can do 20 toes to bar, that's probably a bad idea unless you're an elite athlete. Break it down into manageable sets from the start, and it should feel like it's a little bit too easy because that will build up after a while and it will start to feel hard. So break it down into 5s, even into 2s and 3s if you have to. If you struggle with the weight for the barbell movement, don't be afraid to break that down either. You can break it down into 5s if that weight's heavy. Play to your strengths and weaknesses, not anybody else's. On that point, if you are a beginner and you struggle with toes to bar and you struggle to link them, it often isn't helpful to just keep swinging and trying to link them. Fast singles are much quicker. Even as an RX athlete, when the volume gets higher, I find toes to bar really hard because I'm super heavy. I'm 100 kilos, so gymnastics is always going to be hard for me. So when it comes to chest to bar and sometimes toes to bar, in the later rounds, I'll drop down to doing super fast singles. You can use a plate so that every time you jump down, you don't have to jump up as high. Fast singles can end up way quicker than doing a set of 5 and then having to rest for ages and then doing another set of 5. So consider it from the start if you have to, especially if you just learned the movement. Doing things like this will make sure you don't burn out too quickly and then die, and then your score starts to decrease towards the end, because that happens to a lot of people. We get this goal in our head that we want to finish under the time cap. We get super excited and then just go really fast and redline and then end up not being able to finish it, or getting towards the end and being a lot slower than we would have been had we paced it correctly. Even if you're a beginner, learn how to pace well. Figure out what sets you can do and stick to that mindset. Try and ignore everybody else around around you, just stick to your plan. To figure out what kind of pace you need to go at, you can also look at what other people are getting that are a similar ability to you and come up with a goal in mind. So if you want to finish the workout, say it's for time and you want to finish it in 20 minutes, break it down and look how many rounds you would have to do per minute to finish it. Work out how long each round would need to take you so that you would finish it under that time cap. If it's an AMRAP and you want a certain score, work out how many reps you need to do in a minute. Turn it into a bit of an EMOM or an every 2 minutes or whatever you want to call it. Just figure out a strategy from the start so you can go, okay, I don't need to go any faster than I'm going. If I continue at this pace, I will make it in the time that I want to do. If you get to the end and you've got loads of energy left, you can go absolutely crazy and try and send it and get the highest score. Not only is this going to feel better because you'll get the score that you want to get, but you will be in less pain because you haven't redlined. As soon as the buzzer goes, you've paced yourself correctly and you've had enough energy to send it at the end. This is so important. Make sure you read the standards and you understand the standards. You don't want to be getting no reps, especially if it's something like devil's press or pull-ups, something that's a big movement. Overhead squats are really costly for no rep. Or a wall ball, you don't want to get a no rep on a wall ball. So make sure you know what standards you need to hit and get somebody else to check with you that you can hit that standard before you start. Otherwise you won't be able to move on from that movement until you've met the standard, because the open is judged. That is how it works. If you're doing a max lift, you need to make sure that you warm up properly and that you know what weight you're going to hit. For me, I would always warm up heavy, so I'm hitting a weight that's near the weight that I want to open at. Make sure you warm up properly and that will increase your score a lot, because you don't want to be anxious about it and then all of those nerves kick in and you've only got 6 minutes to max out and then you just implode with all the stress. I don't want that for you. Make sure you know the weights you're going to do. Write them on your arm if you have to. That's what I do. Have those weights lined up next to you so you can just put them straight on the bar without taking too much time. There aren't many movements you can improve literally the week when the open is happening, but double unders is one of them. Double unders is a skill. Most people have the fitness and the ability to do them. They're just making some common mistakes. You can literally improve that the week of by filming yourself, understanding what you're doing wrong and correcting those things, and it can have a huge impact on your open score because every single rep counts and you can get so many reps of double unders done in a very short space of time. If that sounds like you and you need to improve your double unders for the CrossFit Open, maybe they've just come up and you want to improve it as fast as humanly possible, I've got a video that shows you the common mistakes and how to correct them, so go and watch that video next. I hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you in the next one. Bye.